People in the Fever were like, y'all.
That's not my point. There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit going on around there.
It's a lot. Yeah. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
This is where I want to.
Do you remember when Sheryl Swoopes spoke out and said that nobody wanted to play for Indiana? She made it sound like the Fever were a bad team, saying players avoided them because of problems in the locker room and with the team. It was a daring thing to say, but it didn't turn out well.
What kind of things do you say?
I'm not in the locker room.
Okay.
But I'm talking about more social media.
Okay. It's a turn. Right? It's a turn, right? It's really a turn of the tides.
Well,
right?
Phil, here's my point. The beginning of the year, right? Everybody saw.
Now, look at Indiana. They've taken over free agency. And leading the way isn't just any Fever fan. It's Subbard. Yes, that's Subbard. But before we get into her expert move, let's take a moment to poke fun at Sheryl Swoopes' opinion.
What it do, peeps? Sheryl Swoopes is been missing. Sheryl Swoopes is MIA. They got a APB out for Sheryl Swoopes. If you see Sheryl Swoopes, she did a lot of talking a few months ago about the Indiana Fever, the locker room environment, how people didn't want to play there, how people wanted to leave.
This wasn't just an opinion from a new podcaster. This was a Hall of Famer going all in to badmouth Indiana's reputation. Swoopes made it sound like Indiana was where players' careers went downhill. She called the locker room a mess and said no star would want to join the team. She even said Caitlin Clark was heading for a career downfall.
That takes us to Indiana, which I think everyone agrees right now has gone from, a team that made the playoffs last year, lost in the first round. They were building all these young pieces, of course, Caitlin Clark, to now an immediate contender with all the moves that they've.
It turns out Indiana is now the place to be. Free agents aren't avoiding them. They're excited to join the Caitlin Clark experience. And who saw this coming? Sue Bird. When Sue talks, everyone in the league pays attention.
I think Natasha Howard certainly stands out. I loved playing with Tosh.
But you cannot say enough about
Tosh. I really enjoyed playing with her. I think she really is she's just this glue player that doesn't get enough shine for what she does, because a lot of what she does doesn't show up in the box score, but she just is like always in the right place at the right time. And a player like that, I think, complements what Indiana is built.
Sue Bird isn't here to give empty compliments or seek attention. She's a 4-time WNBA champion, a 5-time Olympic gold medalist, and one of the smartest minds in women's basketball. Her opinions aren't just opinions. They are like commands from the court.
So Sue Bird is one of the greatest point guards of all time in the WNBA. And she's someone who obviously is a part owner in the Seattle Storm. So hyping up another team is a bit of a conflict of interest, if we're being honest.
Let's be clear. Stu didn't just join the Fever hype and cheer them on. She did what any experienced legend would do. She told everyone to slow down on the title talk. Classic Sue, calm and steady, reminding us that championships aren't won through Twitter posts or highlight reels of long three-pointers.
Obviously, through trade, added Sophie Cunningham, a player that, I would say a 3-and-D type player who has, been to the finals, so has that playoff experience. She's also just tough. She's mentally tough. She's physically tough. She brings an edge to them. And then last but not least, they added Dewana Bonner, which really I think is the one that, for most people, took it to another level. So now you're like, oh, they're a contender.
If you really listen to her, you'll realize she wasn't throwing shade. She was giving a warning. Beneath her calm tone, the message was clear. Indiana is building something special. It's not just Caitlin Clark's highlight reel. Though she's out here making defenders look bad and handing out assists without turning the ball over, Sue sees the bigger picture.
The biggest part of DB joining this team is that she's already played for Steph. So I think that's going to help bridge the gap, because as we go along, we're going to talk about Vegas and Seattle, Atlanta. It's really going to be which
Stephanie
team.
White being the head coach.
Right. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you.
Was the head coach of Connecticut, now the head coach of Indiana.
Yeah. So it's really going to be the team that finds their chemistry. This season is short. I mean, they're adding games, but it's still pretty short
Still
season.
short, yeah, still short.
And it's
Still
going to
just
be the
the summer.
team that finds chemistry. So having Stephanie White there, having already coached DB, really does help.
Alia Boston is dominating the paint like it's her own fortress. Kelsey Mitchell is finally getting the respect she deserves after all those tough years. Lexi Hull is bringing the grit and energy every strong team needs. Now, veterans are eyeing the team like it's 2016 free agency all over again. This is what Sheryl Swoopes didn't see coming. Caitlin Clark didn't just change the story, she completely rewrote the game plan.
Kelsey Mitchell's balling, Caitlin continuing to impress, and she's going to break records nonstop for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a constant record.
This isn't the Indiana Fever team people used to forget about. Now, it's the team everyone can't stop watching. Ticket sales are booming, and jerseys are flying off the shelves faster than Angel Reese's tantrums. Networks are fighting for the rights to air Fever games. Players from all over the league want to join this momentum because teaming up with Clark means more TV time, playoff chances, and the chance to create something legendary. Sue Bird gets it. She's been the player who attracts stars and helps set up a dynasty. She sees that same potential in Clark and the Fever's young core. This is how greatness starts, with a standout rookie, a solid foundation, and experienced players ready to ride the wave.
Something about the way she plays the game, her passing, her shooting, that people really identify with. So I really feel like we're poised and we're set up for a great, successful next era of Fever basketball.
While Sue Bird is quietly planning the Fever's rise like a smart strategist, Sheryl Swoopes is seeing her credibility fade faster than her hot takes get proven wrong. The Fever aren't a warning, they're the future. If the rest of the league doesn't catch on soon, they'll be stuck watching Indiana win championships while still holding on to last season's outdated opinions.
WNBA MVPs in your career, would you consider each of those 3 seasons as dominant seasons for yourself?
No.
I can't, bro. Sheryl Swoopes is willing to lie about her own career before she even admits that Caitlin is dominant.